Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to quote the words of a sheikh that I highly respect from Vancouver, Canada, and he goes by the name of Sheikh Nurjan Mirahmadi. And in one of his lectures, he quoted that I remember is, above every knower, there's another knower. And above everyone who thinks they're close to Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah has another person closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. But people look at titles. That is the quote of the Shaykh. And the Shaykh is a very humble person. And I believe, based on information received from a helper, Shaykh Nurjan Rahmadi knows about Muhammad Qasim, but at the moment he's silent. That is the adab of doing tabayun. I believe he's doing research and he's being quiet about it. He's not rushing into false judgments, inshallah, because that is the manners that the ulama in the past taught us. I don't know what most modern day ulama think about him, but if we look at the one of the most famous scholars in the world, like Mufti Menk, he didn't really have a good reaction on Muhammad Qasim's dreams or messages. He did not do research at all and made false claims, which Muhammad Qasim himself did not claim at all. For I have done research for 2 years. I have never heard anything about that title. The title of the person who is going to lead the last generation of the Ummah. I did not hear about that at all. And Muhammad Qasim, when he appeared at the age of 39 or 40 years old, when he appeared on the internet and started sharing his dreams, he did not know anything about Imam Mahdi. Yani, therefore, Imam Mahdi does not know he's Imam Mahdi. Why? Why does he not know anything or never heard anything about Imam Mahdi? Because look at him. He has admitted he's not a practicing Muslim. He doesn't have much knowledge about Islam in this dunya. He was not really well educated. He's only taught what Allah wants to teach him in his dreams. He only knows what Allah has revealed to him in his dreams. But Allah did not allow him to know about anything about Imam Mahdi. Why? Because Allah wanted the Muslims around the world to identify him and choose him as Imam Mahdi. You cannot stop what Allah has decreed. Day by day, every day, there are more and more people believing that he's going to be Imam Mahdi. But they don't know the importance of, abolishing shirk or sharing the dreams yet. Which I hope, inshallah, may Allah give them tawfiq to do what they must. Sometimes people will only have the tawfiq and have the realization after Allah sends His wrath upon the Ummah, and we have to face it together. I will have to face it, and I will have to blame myself because I fail. I can't do anything to make people realize it's all up to Allah. I'm nothing. I'm literally nothing, a nobody. I'm powerless. I'm helpless. I only hope in Allah. He is the best of planners. And going back to that lecture from Shaykh Nurjan Mirahmadi. So Prophet Musa alayhi salam claimed that he's the most knowledgeable prophet. When Allah asked him a question, I can't really remember what it is, but to the best of my knowledge, then Allah sent him to learn from Khidir, Nabi Khidir alayhi salam, Prophet Khidir, who is not among the 25 Rasul and not among the 6 great prophets. But Prophet Musa alayhi salam had to humble himself in front of him and become a student of him, because Prophet Khidir alayhi salam has been is blessed with unseen knowledges that Prophet Musa alayhi salam did not have. So this applies with these modern day scholars and schoolers of from the Islamic school with Muhammad Qasim. Well, what makes you think you know better than Muhammad Qasim? Why do you think that Muhammad Qasim doesn't have his own blessings that Allah gave him? Just because he's a layman, you can look down on him, think that his advices or whatever he's sharing is should not even be considered. You know how biased that is. Rushing into false judgment without doing proper research. You call yourselves scholars? Mufti, Ustaz, Sheikh. There are many other scholars who have the proper manners, but they're silent. They, even though they're not convinced, but I love their manners on how they're doing research. Just stay quiet. Shh. It takes time, but rushing to false judgment is. Only Allah knows people's conditions. Okay, I know we have our own issues, our own struggles, our own lives to deal with. But if we can take time diving into Muhammad Qasim's dreams and paying attention to the essential messages, then we will find that it's not against the Quran and Sunnah. In fact, it is so much related to the Quran and Hadith and the Sunnah. Look at Muhammad Qasim's personality. Despite his shortcomings, look at how he lacks confidence in himself and how soft-spoken he is. And if you get to know him personally, he's the kind of person that, he's very shy and he always blames himself. I've seen him, insult himself. And I feel sorry for the man. And he's been through much. He's seen things that we have not seen until he's been losing his hair. He's seen the war, the traumas. He's experienced things that you do not know of in his dreams. And I personally have experienced things that you do not know. That I see this world as an ugly world. I don't even want this world. I have no importance for myself. I just want Allah's help. I just want to return to Allah. I just want out of this darkness. I have nothing to prove for myself. I'm nothing. I know my sins. I know the things I've done, the horrible things I've done in the past. And some people will probably forever look at me as the villain. That's okay. We should use our hearts, to see things. We use our hearts to seek Allah first. Empty ourselves in front of Allah. Ask Allah. Why do we not want to do Salatul Istikhara, to ask Allah things that we must? Why do you think that Salatul Istikhara is only for marriage? Well, it's when we're in the very end of times, when the fitna and corruption is so great, every step we make, if you can do Salatul Istikhara about it, do it. If you don't know how to do proper research, there are many ways that you can find out if this man is telling the truth or not. Research the hadith carefully. Remove all bias. Learn the proper manners. Never think of yourself as a somebody. Never ever think that your deeds are accepted. How can a person think, that he's already on the right path, thinking his deeds are accepted, and he doesn't realize the darkness surrounding him? You have been deceived by your own amal. It is not your amal that takes you to Jannah. It's not your knowledges that takes you to Jannah. It's only by the mercy of Allah that takes you to Jannah. And Allah will give mercy to people who sincerely seek His mercy. And how do you want to seek Allah's mercy? Assume the best of your brothers. Invite them to the path instead of mocking them, making fun of them. You see, look at this man, Muhammad Qasim. Isn't his story just like how the prophets in the past used to experience? Mockery, insults, people belittling them just because they were nobody before they were appointed as prophets by Allah. History is repeating itself. Look at the past. Study, from the history of the prophets, how dreams play an essential role. Even the Fir'aun received a dream that someday that someone would dethrone him, and he believed, and he took that dream seriously. So why do we not take it seriously when a man claimed he met Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, 500 times? Why do we think that dreams? I've seen many scholars say dreams are just dreams. Dreams are not really important. How can you say that? What did you study in Darul Ulum? I have no idea. maybe in whatever school that you studied is it does what's lacking is the spiritual part of Islam, and dreams, you know, is one of the great. It's one of the greatness of Islam. It's one of the great miracles. Dreams have a great importance in our religion, in the spiritual part. We Muslims in the modern era, we lack the spirituality. We're arrogant in the knowledges that we have, that we don't want to empty ourselves in front of Allah and ask Allah, Ya Allah, is Muhammad Qasim really Imam Mahdi? Please show me a clear sign. And we lack yaqeen that Allah will answer our dua regarding that matter. Why? What's the purpose of Salatul Istikharah then? Please, we don't have much time. So do the best you can to research and connect the dots. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.